What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to the Daily Walk with Lance. This is where I take my morning Bible devotional. I record it, upload it, and share it with you guys. As I say before every video, don't view me as a spiritual leader, pastor, prophet. I'm nothing like that. I'm just the average Joe trying to show other average Joes that we could do more than Sunday morning. That we can do more to study. That we could do more to learn God's will and to learn when you're getting that subtle push from God towards something more than living in doubt, more than not knowing if you're correct or not. And I'm not talking about, you have to take 23 hours out of the day to do this or something. No, start with 20 minutes and then build from there. You start somewhere and build. That's the whole point of this, is to plant seeds in people's mind for them to go start their own garden. Now today we are going to talk about Paul a little bit and what he did through a trial and tribulation that he went through. That even it's just that reminder that even the disciples didn't have an easy life. That people, the ones who harden their heart are harsh against people who haven't. And Paul just shows exactly how we're supposed to respond to it. And so this is this was when Paul was preaching like right outside the temple of Zeus. And you'll find this in Acts 14. As always, I'm in the New American Standard Bible, and we're going to pick it up. We're going to pick it up at verse 19, because that's where the whole chapter is about it, but this is what I'm talking about specifically. And it reads, "But Jews came from Antioch and Iconium and have won over the crowds. They stoned Paul and dragged him out of the city, thinking that he was dead. But while the disciples stood around him, he got up and entered the city. The next day he left with Barnabas for Derbe, and after they had preached the gospel to that city and had made a good number of disciples, they returned to Lystra, to Iconium, and to Antioch, strengthening the souls of the disciples, encouraging them to continue in the faith, and saying, 'It is through many tribulations that we must enter the kingdom of God.' When they appointed elders for them in every church, having prayed with fasting, they entrusted them to the Lord in whom they had believed. They passed through Pisidia and came into Pamphylia. When they had spoken the word in Perga, they went down to Attalia. From there they sailed to Antioch, where they had been entrusted to the grace of God for the work that they had accomplished. When they arrived and gathered the church together, they began to report all the things that God had done with them and how he had opened a door of faith to the Gentiles. And they spent a long time with the disciples." And again, that's Acts chapter 14, and we went 19 through 28. And like I said, a lot of people would have just quit after being stoned and left there to rot. Like, I think most of us would have said, "Okay, that's it for me. Like, I quit here." But Paul didn't even think about it. Like, it wasn't even a thought in his mind to stop. No. It says, "But while the disciples stood around him, he got up and entered the city. The next day he left with Barnabas for Derbe, and then after that they went and made disciples and helped strengthen already people trying to be disciples." And let's see how many cities. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I mean, 7 more cities at least. That's just what's named. So Paul didn't get hung up on, the people of this city, they didn't do right. I'm depressed. No, he just was like, okay, on to the next one. And that's how we're supposed to be. You lay the seed, and continue on. Like, some people are going to receive it, some people are not, and we got to stop being hung up on the ones that don't, because it's not up to us to change them. It's up to us to tell them change is possible, and then it's up to them what they do with their life. That's the beautiful thing about free will. It's, yes, there is an eternal punishment, but for life on this earth, it, you have the choice of what you want to do. Do you want to try to live life to the fullest here and now, and then be done for eternity, or do you want to try to be a little bit more humble and disciplined in this life, which tends to work out better for you anyway, but to make sure your eternity is safe, because eternity matters far more than the 80 years we're on this earth. Or for people that are shorter than that, 70, 80 life expectancies in there. But, Paul didn't even think twice. It was just brush off and move on. Like, it is what it is. He went to the heart of the enemy and tried to place a light there. And that's all we can do, is attempt to put that seed down, and then, maybe not that day, but maybe later down the road, that seed, something comes of it. That something else happens, and then us doing things the right way is stuck in their mind, and maybe that's what ends up changing them later down the road. Sometimes it's not about change right here, right now. We wish everything was, change right here, right now, just by what I'm saying, but sometimes it's not the way. That's not always the way it goes. Sometimes you gotta lay that seed and hope that someone else comes along and helps it, or the person finally wakes up to what you said eventually. Alright, y'all, if this is the first time one of my videos, if you would, please drop me a follow, hit that like button, share the video, leave a comment. I don't say that to be a grifter, I say that because that's just the way the algorithm works right now. The algorithm changes over time, but as of right now, interaction with the video is the only way it gets small videos to more people. So do this for any content creator, not just me. If you enjoy their work, you enjoy their videos, leave them the interaction, because outside of prayer, that's the best way you can help us out. Alright, y'all. I think that's it. I'll catch y'all tomorrow. Peace.